Hello everybody, it is Yvette and I am back with another video. So guys, by the title, yes, I have Olaf with me. This is Angelisa's Olaf, but he's gonna be my little cushion for this video. By the title, as you guys can see, I'm going to be talking about another touchy but not so touchy subject. I mean, it was touchy when I was like, if you would ask me about this subject a year ago, 2 years ago, it would be kind of like touchy for me to speak about, but then now I'm like, I've accepted it and then I have moved on from it, so it's not so touchy as it was before. By the title, the subject of this video is how was it growing up without a father or a father figure. So guys, like I always did before, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, and let's get into this video. How was it growing up without a father figure? Well, it was hard. I feel like for anybody it would be hard if you grew up without a father figure. I didn't have nobody to direct me or guide me or give me advice. If you guys didn't know, my grandparents raised me. My mom had MS at a young age, and as I mentioned in my previous video about how she passed away, her condition was deteriorating, so I didn't have the bond that I would have liked with my mom because she was very sick. And my dad, well, that's just other stuff that, you know, things happened, but it wasn't that he didn't want to be there, it's just things got in the way and he couldn't be there. But I'm not gonna get into that. But how was it growing up? It was very hard because my grandparents, they were older, and they're older still, you know, they're still here. They're older, and when I was young, my grandparents were older and they didn't really guide me. They didn't really give me advice on things to expect in life. I kind of just had to go through it myself and figure things out on my own and learn from my mistakes and make a lot of mistakes in order to learn from them, because I didn't have that guidance or anybody to be like, Yvette, be careful with this, Yvette, don't do that, Yvette, don't go here, Yvette, don't do. I didn't have none of that. I kind of just did it, went there, and suffer consequences and then learn from them on my own. I didn't have nobody to tell me anything. I feel like I tolerated a lot of things I tolerated in relationships, especially with my abuse, because I didn't have like, because at the time I thought I was wrong, you know, and everything that I did in terms of the abuse, I thought I was wrong, so I would always be like, you know, I'm sorry, or feel like it was my fault, and I didn't have anybody to tell me otherwise. I didn't have nobody to tell me, oh Yvette, no, you're not wrong, or Yvette, it's not your fault. I didn't have that, and I wish I could have, because I would have probably had avoided a lot of situations, avoided a lot of things that I had went through. But in a way, guys, I'm so glad that I went through them, because if not, I wouldn't be who I am today. But you know, growing up with grandparents who were, you know, okay, I'm gonna be open with you guys, and I hope, you know, this is a judgment-free zone. Like, I know I was young, so I don't want nobody in the comments like, oh, like judging me or whatever, because, you know, I was young and I get it. If somebody tells me this when I'm about to tell you guys, I'll be like, girl, you're crazy, like, you're young, why are you doing that? But I know this, I know it was from my wrong, this was my past. I'm just telling you guys because I want to show you guys my experience on how it was without, how was it growing up without a father figure. So growing up, I was kind of on the loose, you know. I didn't have a curfew, I didn't have a strict parent as like some of you may have. I didn't have nobody to be on top of me. I didn't have that. I always kind of got what I wanted in a way. Like, I had the freedom, I wanted this, I got it, you know, the material stuff. When I first met Angelisa's dad, my grandparents would always let me go out if it was only with him. So obviously, young old me, I'm gonna lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be with this guy. Even if I wouldn't, you know, I just knew that they were gonna let me go out because I said I was with him. And I didn't have a curfew, I didn't have the Yvette, be home by 8 o'clock. I didn't have that. I didn't have a lot of that stuff, and it was kind of like, oh mom, I used to call my grandmother mom. I still call her that, but you know, I'd be like, oh mommy, I want this phone, or mommy, I want this, or mommy, do you have this? And I always got it. I never, even if it was a no at first, I just like kind of persuade her, and I kind of got what I wanted. I feel like if I had like a strict or hard father figure in my life, or my dad in my life, then I probably wouldn't be as spoiled, I guess if you call it, as I was growing up, because I would have had that stricter parent, and I probably would have, like I said, I probably wouldn't have gone through everything I'd gone through before. But I didn't have a curfew. I didn't have that strict parental control over me. What else? I could practically, like, you know, when I was young, you know, there's some parents like, oh, what you wearing, that's too short, or what you wearing, that's a belly shirt, or whatever. I didn't have that, so I would practically wear whatever I wanted. That's not to say I would dress crazy every day, but like if there was a time where I was gonna go out with some friends, I used to like wear what I want, and my grandparents never said anything. And this is not to bash them or anything, this is just little things that little examples that I have that I can tell you guys, that I can think of at the top of my head, to show you guys like how it was growing up without a father figure, and how my life was growing up, you know. And I'm thankful though that I had went through what I went through, because like I said in my previous video about being a teenage mom, I was going through so much before I had Angelise, and if it wasn't for her, guys, I probably wouldn't be here today. And you know, I was going through a lot of stuff at the time, and I won't lie, like I was in like, I guess like a rehab, you can call it, because I was going through a lot, and I won't go into details with that. But 4 months after, I got pregnant with Angelise. But after I had her, my mind just shifted, and she was the reason why I just switched, and I just wanted better. I wanted better for myself. I wanted to provide for her. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to just give her the world, and thanks to her, you know, I am who I am today. And I felt like me not having a father figure, my dad in my life, not that I didn't have him in my life, he was just restricted to be in my life for personal reasons. He didn't do anything wrong, but him not being a part of my life as consistent as I would have liked him to be, I felt like, in a way, the only positive thing that did was, I know I probably wouldn't have had Angelise if I had him in my life. That's the only thing that I can think of. But besides that, I felt like with not having him in my life, it was hard, because I never had guidance. I never had the love that I wanted. I just kind of like had what I wanted in terms of materials, the toys, the electronics, the clothes, the money. Yvette, you want to go out? Okay, fine. Like I never had, I just had that. I didn't have, or at least I felt like I didn't have the love and the care that I wanted, or that a kid should have growing up. But growing up, I had a lot of resentment, and I was so bitter towards my dad. And I felt like at the time, I felt like it's just that he didn't want to. Come to find out later on, a couple years later, I found out why he wasn't there. But I can imagine though, if you're a woman, a man, a girl, a boy, who don't have your father or your mother in your life, or a missing parent, even if it's both of them, I can only imagine how hard it is for you, because I didn't have both of my parents. And this, again, it wasn't like they didn't want to, they were restricted. My mom had a condition, and my father, he was just restricted. He was restricted, and it was hard. I didn't understand. I was young. I was told one thing and one thing only, and I had so much resentment towards him. I didn't like him. I felt like he didn't love me. I felt like he didn't want to be there. And growing up without having my dad, it was like hard, because I would have my friends and see my friends be with their parents or their dad and talk about how their dad and them have a bond, and I'm here like, I don't have that with my dad. Like it was hard, and I would get jealous sometimes, like, oh, like, why don't I have that, you know? Why don't I even have my mom? Like, I used to just question a lot, and I guess with time I just kind of like got over it, but me getting over it turned into anger and bitter, and I was just rebel. But now that I'm an adult and I have 2 kids, and you know, me having one, my eldest, who didn't have her dad, I won't ever be the type of person to just bash her dad in front of her or talk bad about him in front of her. I just kind of played that role of a mother and a father for 3 years, and then God, Oscar came, and he decided on his own to take that role and be a father figure to her for these past 3 years, and I'm thankful for that. And but yeah, guys, I hope you guys just took something out of this. And I'm 20 years old right now, and me and my dad, by the way, if you guys are questioning, oh, where's your dad now, we have the best bond ever, guys. We have the best bond. And if you're someone who's struggling to have a relationship with your parent because they were absent for so long and you don't think it can ever happen, I'm here telling you it can. Whether you choose to or not, that's on you. I'm not telling you, oh, because I did it and I was able to have a relationship with my dad, you can too, or you should. You can, though. I'm not saying it's impossible. I had so much resentment and so much bitterness towards my dad for years. Like, I grew up thinking my dad did not want to be a part of my life, and it was so hard. But you can gain a relationship. I gained a relationship with my dad when I was 18 years old. That's when I had first started to gain a relationship with him. Now he's kind of like my go-to. Like, I call him, he calls me. We went on the phone for like 3-4 hours. Like, it's just been that cool. And now I kind of have what I wanted, even though I'm like an adult now. But it's never too late to get guidance from a parent, because you always continue to learn. No matter how old you are, you could be 20, 30, you're still learning every day. You just don't know it all in a certain amount of years. And you know, he now gives me the guidance, and whenever I go through something, he's like my go-to. He gives me the advice that I need, and he like suggests things to me, and he talks to me. And I'm thankful that I have a relationship with him now, and I never in my life thought that it would ever get to where it is now, but it did, and it still is. And you know, nothing is impossible. And if you're someone who has anger or bitterness towards a parent, just remember they're not here forever. And I never had resentment towards my mom, but I didn't have the bond that I wanted, and I could have done more. But now that she's not here, like I said in my previous video talking about her, I didn't think it would like extremely hurt me, because I didn't have a bond with her because she was sick and she couldn't speak to me. I couldn't speak, well, I did speak to her, but not as much as I should have. But you know, now that she's not here, it hits me, because I can't even go to the room and even look at her. Even if it's just to look at her, I can't. And that's something that even just looking at her, I wish I could do, and I cannot. And that's why I just cherish the relationship I have with my dad, because I know that everybody's time comes to an end. Mine does, Oscar does, our girls in the future does, my dad, family members. It's bound to happen. So why have so much hate and bitterness towards somebody when you can try to fix it and just make the best out of it? So this is my video, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you got something out of my story. I hope it inspired you guys to fix a relationship that may be on the rocky side a little bit. I hope it touched you guys in some way and you guys got something out of this. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe, and hit that bell post notification button so you guys can be notified every single time I post a different video. And tell your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, and your best friend about this video. Tell them to tell a friend about this video, and tell that friend to tell another friend about this video, and let's just keep it going, guys.